Hello friends and felines, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're venturing on my channel for the first time today, hi, hello, and welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave today. So for today's video, it's just going to be a laid back, kind of chill, get ready with me. I'm just going to go over like my go-to routine to try to like get a simple glam look that doesn't feel too heavy on the face. I don't want to feel like I'm wearing a lot of makeup even though I am. And we're getting ready to go to one of my high school friends' weddings today. So if you want to see what my kind of like go-to little simple glam look for special occasions is, then definitely keep on watching. Alright, so the first step is to prime, and that usually depends on how my skin is feeling. If I'm super dry, I'll just kind of go in with like another moisturizing primer on top of my moisturizer I already put on for that day. Or if I want something that's going to stick a little bit more, I know I'm going to be sweating all day on the dance floor, I go in with something a little bit more tacky. So I'm going with the CLARINS Instant Smooth Perfecting Touch. This has a little bit of that silicone feeling, but it's not over the top and it doesn't make like peel off my face. I had to put a couple of hair clips in because otherwise it was going to drive me insane. But my skin is feeling so soft, like instant soft, and a little bit tacky, ready for makeup. I did exfoliate and I used a pore tightening facial this morning, so hopefully that will help my makeup and my skin look great today. I obviously have a few little pimples that are healing, so we'll make do. Alright, so for our foundation, I have a few like go-to ones. Usually I go with like the Infallible one or the Anastasia Luminous foundation. That's what I'm going to go with today. This is a little bit darker. I want to kind of go with a more warm toned fall look today. So I'm kind of going with like a foundation that's a little bit more warmer on my skin. I don't know if you guys can tell right now, my hair is still wet. I did get my hair done and I kind of enhanced the red that's in my hair. If you guys didn't know, which I didn't know for the longest time, my dad was like major ginger. He had like the reddest, orangest hair I've ever seen. But I didn't know because like when I was little, like his hair went from like red to like brown to brownish gray to like white now. He's gonna kill me if he ever watches my videos, but like I didn't even know he was a ginger until I saw like an older picture of him and I was like, what, Dad, you're a ginger? And my mom's like, yeah, like I wanted you to be born with curly red hair like the girl from Brave. So it's funny because I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that red hair. I don't want to be a ginger. But now I have red hair. But it's like a different kind of red. It's not like the red orange. It's more of an auburn. If the sun hits my hair in a certain way, you can see the auburn tones in my hair. So I just kind of like wanted her to bring that out a little bit more. It's a little bit stronger at the roots, obviously, but it will fade a little bit. And just embracing my inner ginger. All right, now it's time to conceal. I definitely have some like dark circles. I got up at 6 this morning to get ready because we have to leave around 9:30. It takes like 2.5 hours to get there. So I feel like I'm getting up like the same time that the bride will be getting up to get ready, but it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and hydrate. I'm using the E.L.F. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I don't want anything that's too thick, too heavy. I've been using a lot less concealer so it doesn't crease as much, and I really feel like I don't really need that much. I barely even highlight using concealer now, so I just put a little bit underneath the eyes, especially this inner corner. It's just a bad day. And then just a little bit out there so I can make everything snatched and going upward. Line down the nose. And we'll start there. We'll see if we'll highlight anything else. And again, I first like to go in with a brush. This is like just a short buffing brush from Crown. The sun is like peeking through my window. You see that? Sorry, I got distracted. I start with this and then I'll go in with like a beauty sponge afterwards. And I use this to like bring this down the nose a little bit to kind of like get that nose ready for contour. And I'll bring this up onto my eyelid. I will go in with a primer later. This just helps to cover all the veins that are like in my eyes and eyebrow region. I don't know why I have so much of that going on. So once I have it mostly dispersed, then I'll just go in and buff it out some more with the sponge. I just feel like with such a big sponge, I really can't get in my inner corner. I get a nice line down my nose. Oh my god, that sun is gonna bother me. I never film this early in the morning, so I hate when I get something like in my eye when I'm doing makeup because my eyes are red for the rest of the time. They're irritated, they're watering, and it's never a good time when you're trying to put on like lashes and stuff later. Alright, so we're concealed up. I'm actually going to let that sit for a bit. I used to go right in and just powder underneath to set it in. But I realized like I kind of like need it to warm up to my skin tone. I let it crease and then I'll just pat it back in and remove the creases and then set. Before we get into powder, we're going to go ahead and do some cream products. Like I've said in previous videos, I have been loving on some cream products lately. And I just feel like it gives you a more natural look. You know, I definitely think that like beauty trends right now are less from like the strict contour, blush, highlight, and it's just kind of like a wash of color all over your face. So like that's what we're going with now. Again, the Makeup by Mario Sculpting Stick. I love this. I have the shade Light Medium, which at first looks like it's really, really strong. It comes out like dark and I'm like, ooh, but it blends out really nicely. You have a buffing brush on the other side, which I really do enjoy using. And yeah, I just really like this product and I'm happy that I just like randomly bought it off of Ulta. So you just tap it on there. Looks crazy. It looks crazy, I swear. It works. And then you just kind of go in with the brush afterwards, and I just start by like tapping it in, and then I'll kind of like start like swiping it a little bit. I don't want to swipe immediately and take off all of my makeup. You just start tapping, and then you start like swirling around a bit. And it really diffuses it away. Like it's a really, really nice product. It makes me want to try other products from his brand, but again, some of them are like kind of pricey. My one thing is I would do one section at a time. I wouldn't put this all over your face and then try to blend it in later, so it'll kind of like dry down and it'll be a lot harder to blend. So just work in like one area at a time. I used to go ham on like forehead contouring, but I've kind of like eased up on that. I just kind of focus it more on like the corners of my forehead, and I make sure I really like push it back into my hairline, just to give a little bit of dimension, but we don't need to go too crazy. And again, we're going into like fall, winter, so it's not like anyone around here is actually going to be getting some sun and like looking tan. So I feel like bronzer is really not needed as much. I will also use my chin with this. I normally don't do chin contour, but when I have this stick, I love using this. So literally just make like a line, like a chin strap, and then you go in and buff it in. And it's like almost hard to see when you're trying to blend it in because it literally just fits into like the shadow of your face perfectly, which I love. I will also use this for nose contour, but I'll go in with an angled brush and I'll just take some off the top and just do a very, very light nose contour. I don't know, I can't stand heavy, heavy contour for your nose, especially with mine. Like I have a cute little button nose. I like my nose. But like James Charles, like he says he's like, you know, I watch his videos and everything anyways, but he says like he's done with like very harsh makeup, but like he has got a big nose and he comes out with like this little tiny thing, and when he's in natural lighting and he's out and about, it looks ridiculous. I'm sorry, but it does. But I'll make sure I just take that up into the natural contour of my nose bridge, into my eyebrow, and that will help with the makeup later. Alright, so now we're gonna go into cream blush. I'm gonna go in with the JACLYN Hill Swoon shade of the cream to powder blush. I love this thing. Again, this one's also really simple to use. I just take a brush and I just swipe some off the top, being careful to watch how much pigment I actually have on my brush, and then I'll just tap that on and buff it out. This is like the perfect like warm tone blush to go with today's look. I also do like the Rare Beauty liquid blush in there, but that's a little bit more cool tone, a little bit more pinky. So I wanted something a little bit warmer. Lately, I've also been not putting as much right on the direct like apple of my cheeks, and I've been kind of like blending upward into that contour, and I've been trying to put on less blush. There, just a little bit of color, and I'm already loving how my makeup is looking. I look luminous, but I don't look like my makeup's just gonna slide off my face. But now we're gonna go in and we're gonna powder up. My two like go-to powders right now, again, I need to repurchase this again. This is like the second or third one I've gone through. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder. I get it in the Classic Ivory 120 shade. And then I also have the loose powder from Maybelline. I got it in the shade Fair Light, and I also have a darker shade in my drawer. So I need to go and get a new one. The Ulta in Batavia is now open, so I need to go check that out. And maybe they'll have the Infallible pressed powder, because I really want to do a video when I have half my face with Maybelline and half my face with Infallible from L'Oreal, and then compare the two and see how they wear throughout the day. So I'm going to have to stop by Ulta. So I like using the loose powder just for like underneath my eyes and stuff. So I do have some creasing going on. That's fine. I'm just going to tap away the creases with my finger. Kind of like the same thing what happens on your eyelid. I have some creases going on up there, which I will fix before I put on eyeshadow. And we're just going to take a very little bit of powder and we're going to just do the under eye. And I've been using like way less powder lately. I never used a lot of powder because I usually tend to be on the drier side, and so it just makes everything look crusty. But like I really only use powder in places where I think I'm going to need it, like chin, forehead, nose, under eye. And I like this little, it's an old, broken, disgusting looking like little kabuki brush. I don't even know where I got it. I think it was from Avon. But I like using it because it's very dense, it's compact, and I can bring it with me because it's small enough. It's really just like the head of like a normal brush, but it's like very compact and dense. And when it comes to where like my cream products were, I literally just put the tiniest bit of powder to bring down a little bit that luminosity and to set it into place, but like not enough to like cover it up. I'm just gonna take some right here. I'm not really baking with it, but just to kind of like, you know, whatever that technique is, to kind of have a nice highlight point here between your two different contours. I only do this sometimes. This isn't an everyday thing. Just depends on how I'm feeling or how I think my makeup looks in that area. Because I tend to get like very blotchy on my jawline, so I try to like cover that up a little bit more. Alright, so now we're moving on to brows. I actually got my brows done recently with my hair, so they're looking pretty defined. When they're like super wily and like crazy and I can't really shape them, I'll just go in with a brow gel, and my tried and true is the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. It's actually in the shade Black, but it actually works very well with mine. But since I actually have defined brows, I'm actually going to use a little bit of pomade, not too much, because I don't want to look like tattooed brows. So I'm going to do that really quick, and we'll come back for eyeshadow. Alright, brows are done and the eyes are primed, and my brows, this is probably the best they've looked in a while. Like, they're related this time. They're not identical twins, but they're related. So that's what I'm going to go with. Alright, so for eyeshadow, I'm going to go in, I'm going to use the Orgy palettes from Jeffree Star. This is not my go-to palette for eyeshadow, like just neutral browns. But I do need to play around with this more, and it literally has like almost every shade and tone you could think of. The majority of these ones up here I'm never going to use. The issue is like I can kind of tell what they look like in the pan, but I need to swatch some of them to figure out if they're cool toned or warm toned, because I want to stick with warm tone browns. It sucks if you have a warm toned look going on and then you try another one and it's cool tone. It kind of just throws the whole thing off. I'm going to set my like eye primer first, and I'm going to go in with the shade, Gender Fluid right here, which is pretty much like just my skin tone. It's just to like set the eye primer in place before we go in with like other shades. This actually has a little bit of color to it, but it's fine because we're going to go over it with other stuff anyways. Alright, so just a quick little wash of color, set everything in place. Now we're going to go in with Safe Sex, which is right here, and that's going to go in the crease. Using that same fluffy brush, just put this right up here. I kind of want everything to like wing out, so I'm going to kind of take it out there, if that makes sense. I don't know, I did like a really cute look the other day when we went to go see Louis C.K. I didn't film that, unfortunately, but that's what I'm kind of going after today. See, like you can already see the definition that it's giving my eyelid, so that's what we're going with. I've like said this before, but I can actually tell my eyes and like eye structure and eye bone structure are completely different, especially when I'm like going in with a brush, because I can feel like how this eyebrow bone feels and I can follow it pretty naturally, but how it feels over here is like different and it's not the same. So if I want like a similar eye shape on both sides, I have to like not adhere to how my eye bone structure is on the side, if that makes sense. Probably not, but all right, so now I'm going to take the shade Versatile, which is just like one shade darker than the shade I was using, just to deepen up the crease a little. I'm going to focus that like on the outside of the crease too. Alright, so now we're going to use the shade Invitation Only right there. Super beautiful, like chocolate, warm brown. We're going to use an angled brush and we're going to start working on the outer corner very carefully. So I kind of just like tap it on first with the most pigment, and I'll kind of like just start tapping and get kind of like that shape And then with whatever is left on my brush, I'll just start dragging that upward. And then again, like I said, I'll just like blend inward with whatever's left on my brush. So when I go in with like a shimmer shade on top, it will blend in. So like we've already got that like shape going. That's what we're aiming for. All right, so before we go in with a shimmer shade, I'm just gonna kind of use the same shades I use up here and just lightly do some on the lower lash line. All right, so now we're gonna hop into the mini, and this has full shades in here. I haven't even taken the, like the little plastic thing off the mirror, so. I don't know if that sounded satisfying or not, but I tried. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Champagne Drip right up here. Smooth like butter. Smooth like butter! We're just gonna pop that right on there. Gold shimmery shades like this really enhance the grain of my eyes, so that's like why I always love using these. Just makes them pop. So like I say with all shimmers, I pack it on with my finger first to get the most payout, and then I'll go in with a brush and really like get into the edges and the crease. So now I'm gonna take an angled brush and we're gonna go in with another darker shade. I'm thinking I'm gonna go in with Money Shot. And we're gonna actually use this as eyeliner. I've been kind of getting away from using like just straight up liquid eyeliner. It just doesn't look natural, I think. So we're gonna use this, and we're gonna use this shadow as eyeliner. Something like that. I'm just gonna go ahead and speed through because this is gonna take a while. So this is where we're at now with the sun. Makes my eyes look pretty, but it's gonna mess with the video. So note to self, Brittany, do not film at 8 o'clock in the morning. Noted. I have also probably ruined my white robe with all the makeup that is on it right now. So note to self, do not film a makeup video in your robe. Hopefully it will come out in the wash. All right, so this is what we're looking at with the eyes. I take it on the inner portion just a little bit, wing it out, clean it up with concealer, and that's where we're looking at, so we can put on a nice lash later. We're gonna go in with mascara. And I just picked this one up from Ulta Day 21 Days of Beauty. This is the NARS Climax mascara. I think I've heard some decent things about this, but I've never actually tried it. And so obviously with it being half off, I decided to pick it up. It's got a nice, big, thick, juicy wand. So we will see how this works. It's not bad. I don't think it's the best thing I've ever tried, but yeah, not bad. It's such a big wand though. I'm definitely not going to use this on my lower lash line. I usually go with my cabinet wand because it's a really nice, narrow, skinny wand. And I'll put that on after I'm done putting on lashes. So I'm going to put mascara on the other eye and go in with lashes. I'm going to go in with the Lunar Angel lashes in the style Angel Baby. These are a pretty comfortable, lightweight lash that wings out a bit. So I think it's like the perfect lash for this look. All right, here are the eyes all complete. I just love this. I feel like I'm very pulled up. I don't know if this is considered a fox eye, cat eye. I do extend the inner corner a little bit. And I went in with some highlight called Gagging right here for like the, can't speak, brow bone and inner corner. Wow, it's gonna be a long day. I did put some already a little bit on my nose, just the slightest bit. So I think I'm gonna do this for like my actual highlight too, because I think it's such a pretty color. So I'm gonna go in very lightly because I feel like this is gonna be a lot if I'm not careful. So I just want a little bit of highlight. That is pretty. Like, I don't even know if you could pick that up with my natural glow already, but it just adds a little bit more. I'm living for this look. It has taken me a while. I've been working on this for like an hour and a half, but it's worth it. All right, I need some color on these dry, crusty lips. So obviously I'm gonna dip into this and I'm gonna try to figure out what shade I want. That could be a while to try to find like the right undertones. Because I love this thing. It's got like every nude you can think of. But there's so many undertones, so I need to figure out what I'm gonna wear. All right, after swatching a bunch of lips, I think I'm gonna go in with Thick as Thieves, and I found a lip liner that might work, which is the Steve Laurent Vogue lip liner. So let's apply this. Wow, that shade is actually really pretty. I don't even know if I've ever used that one or not, but I'm loving how this makeup has turned out so far. Obviously, we need to go in with the tried and true all-nighter from Urban Decay to set everything into place. I like how well this works, but I wish it had a different spray because it's just kind of like jet powered at your face and it leaves like all the little dots around. I have seen like a hack where you like spray it on a dry, clean beauty sponge and then you like soak it with this and then you kind of like pat it on. I've done that once and I'm not sure if it really did anything, but it does prevent like all the little like water droplets from getting all over the place. All right, so that is everything for today's makeup look. I feel like that was kind of a long video, but I kind of want to show you guys like what I will be packing in my makeup bag when I bring with me to the wedding in case I need to do any touch-ups. All right, so first things first, I'm going to be taking my empty Maybelline powder. This one has a little bit more pigment to it and it's not as messy as the loose powder. So I'll take this with my little small kabuki brush to touch up anything, probably the nose, anything that will like sweat off from dancing or anything like that. We have like 3 hours after the wedding before the reception to kind of chill. So we'll probably like go to our hotel room, check in, and freshen up a bit. I'm obviously bringing my lash box in case I get tired of these lashes. I think I applied them pretty nicely today, so hopefully they'll last all night and they won't bother me too much. But I do have a box if I get tired of them. But I'm also going to be bringing some lash glue and some tweezers just in case I need to fix them and put them back on. And then obviously I will be bringing the liquid lip that I use for tonight. Jeffree Star's lips are pretty good. Like they can usually last through dinner without getting like too messy. I think that's all I really need. Obviously I'll be bringing like some perfume and some deodorant, but for makeup items I just bring like the few essentials. All right, I'm gonna finish getting ready and I'll be right back to end the video. So this is the final look. I think I look amazing. I'm probably not gonna look like this by the end of the night, but we're gonna have a blast anyways. If you guys like this video and you want more videos of me with my go-to 5-minute makeup look, my work makeup, the event makeup, you know, anything like that, just let me know down below in the comments. But other than that, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. While you're at it, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you are notified every time I post a new video. I love you guys, and subscribe to my channel. I welcome you to the Feline family. Bye!